Hey everybody, welcome back to this Let's Play of Final Fantasy for the PlayStation. I am Drak. Let's get to it, shall we? Alright, last time in the Final Fantasy Let's Play, we started up the Sunken Shrine, we liberated a bottled fairy who gave us some gillyweed. We're not telling the cops about it. Okay, it was Oxyale. And we actually started our quest into the Sunken Shrine just to get some extra treasure. Now we are making our way to the Water Crystal, and in turn, the Water Fiend. But while looting treasure along the way. Oh, and here's one enemy I hate. And that is the Cockatrice. Mainly because they are one of the few enemies in this game that can cause stone. And I also think they make it so you can't run, period. Can't do it. But they can! That makes no sense! Okay, well, at least two of the dangers are away. And there you go. Now you can see Yang's damage. 500. Just think about what he's gonna do to a fiend. Awesome! Oh, majority there. And now we're down to one enemy. A king mummy without people to lead. That's kind of a sad concept. Alright, so we got some Giant's Gloves. I don't think we use the Giant's Gloves, but I might be wrong. Just depends on if they're an upgrade or not. They're not. So we're not going to use them. I'm kind of specific in my stats. You know, if it doesn't affect, like, raw attack or raw defense, that really is a big deal to me. Evasion can be made up if you have a solid defense. Same thing with accuracy. Accuracy to me would matter more along the lines of Yang than it would for Bart's. Just because I want Bart's to be able to take that hit. If he's the guy that's got to be resurrecting everybody, then we might as well have that. Or, you know, if he's got to finish out the fight. Because I just realized there are no such things as Phoenix Downs in this game. Full 3. Bye-bye. Gentlemen, let's plow the road. And as a special treat for the prince, we gave him a fist to the face. We're nice like that. And again, I'm getting lost, because that's what happens in these dungeons. This is why I have a map, guys. I need that map. Otherwise, I wander around aimlessly, or, I mean, the perfect example of this, and I hate bringing it up because I always try and fix it every time we get together to record, but when we do Drak Shadow, the LP of Phantasy Star 2, those dungeons are so complex that I've got to have a map in front of me, otherwise I'm wandering around aimlessly. And that's actually a pet peeve of mine in RPGs. If you have made your dungeon way too complex, you've got a bit of a problem. Because it no longer becomes interesting to see the dungeon, it becomes a chore. And yes, there are 3D RPGs that have done that. And it has driven me nuts, because the companies that did it, they should know better. Alright, and they're down. We took down Jaws before the movie. It's okay. Lots of gil down here. One step! One step! You're killing me here, Final Fantasy! It's probably just because we're close to chests. And so there you go, it's saying, no, you're gonna have problems because you want these chests. Oh, and you get to take the brunt of a lightning bolt. Good luck with that. And here's another interesting item, the ribbon. This, I believe, we are going to give to Yuna. It doesn't really add anything stat-wise, but they are always a great item to have in the games. Because a ribbon makes it so that character cannot get a single status ailment. Nothing. And so who better to put that on than the healer? So that guarantees they'll never get it. Helpful. Next floor. Before we get attacked. Because, yeah, that's how things are working. Now I'm kind of learning, because, like, with certain fights, I'm not going to be able to run. And the game's not going to let me. Hold 3, let's see if you survive. Well, dang! Mr. Prince, you're awesome! I'm gonna hand you a medal with my sword. Alright, next floor. I think this is like the second to last floor. Or third to last. Long dungeons. So while we're making our way through the extremely long dungeon, just as a quick update for people on the kind of game or the games that I'm playing, I haven't really been playing a whole lot. I'm actually right at finals time, or this whole month is kind of finals month for school for me. So I've been working hard on that. I have found time to play a couple of games here and there. Not much, though. So I played a little bit more into Revelations. Still liking that game. Assassin's Creed Revelations. Trying to think off the top of my head. What else have I played? I finished Bayonetta, so I'm not working on that. I did pick up Devil May Cry 3 again. I think I mentioned this in a previous part. I just wanted to play it again. After playing Bayonetta, I was like, I have to go dig this out. And it's my favorite Devil May Cry game. So I'm having fun once again going through it and enjoying the living heck out of it. The other thing I also picked up was, at a friend's request, because I'm an old fuddy-duddy that way, a friend of mine has been pushing very, very hard for me to get into the Elder Scrolls franchise. And I told him, honestly, I would do it, but since the games are so complex, I would want to start, at least to some extent, from the beginning. You can't really do that with the Elder Scrolls games anymore. It gets really difficult, and DOSBox is not something I'm all that in tune with. So I tried to pick up Arena, had some problems, tried to pick up Daggerfall, same issue. And right now I'm starting up Morrowind, and I'm enjoying it so far. It's a good game. I'll just put it that way. I don't want to make a judgment just yet, but I'm liking it so far. Alright, so we are healing up because the next room is the Water Fiend. Okay. You humans amaze me. Who would have thought any land creature could make it this far? Closest thing to Dr. Zoidberg I got. But I'm afraid it's time to teach you your place. Kraken, the Water Fiend shall instruct you. Just because it has to be done, release the Kraken! Yes, we face the Kraken as the Water Fiend. Kind of unoriginal, and I don't like octopus-themed enemies. It's like Cthulhu, man. I can't deal with it. I love the concept of Cthulhu. Cthulhu kind of bothers me the way it looks. And some people might be saying, but Drak, you play WoW. You've been seeing tentacle creatures for the longest time. Yeah, it doesn't mean I enjoy it. I'm not saying I'm outright creeped out, but I'm just like, ugh. I get to kill another one of these things? Really? Ugh. And everybody can see where I'm going right here. I am trying to beef up Yang so that he can deliver the big hits. And will we actually get a spell off? Probably not, because he's beefing up Marks too. Ow. See, he didn't hit for 1, he hit for 20. 700, and game! Bye, Kraken. The Kraken has been released. We came, we saw, we kicked the Kraken's butt. Okay, so we get our XP. And now we get to have our freeing, or Healing the water crystal. I don't know if it's freeing or liberating. We'll go with healing from here on in. Oh. Incoming victory dance in 3, 2, 1. Nice timing. Alright, now that we've gotten that done, we're going to make our way back to the exit tile. And we are done with the water dungeon. Now we get to make our way to the last crystal, the wind crystal. But before that, we hit the inn. Because we deserve a rest. A long-needed rest. But yeah, I'm trying to think of other games that I've been playing. That's been pretty much it. I'm enjoying Morrowind. I'm not really going to talk too much about it just because I'm not that far. I don't think I am. Anyway. Elder Scrolls always seem like very complex games, so I'll bet I'm not very far into it. That's been pretty much it. Like, I'm literally looking at my game shelf, guys. I'm like, have I played anything else? School's tough sometimes. Alright, so now that we've gotten that done, I actually lied a little bit. Before we go to get the wind crystal, or to heal it, we've got to go and get a few items first. One of which is actually in the waterfall cave just behind Onlak. Also one of those items we just got out of the Sunken Shrine, which was the Rosetta Stone, and I'll show you how that comes into play in a minute. So here's the waterfall cave. I promise it's not very long. Calling out to Shadow Blazer 3000 with my humming in the game. I love the music of Final Fantasy. It never gets old. And I have no problem humming to it. And I do want to extend another invitation that I had in the previous part. BlizzCon just happened over the weekend. To Blizzard fans that watch, I would actually like to know in the comments, did you have a favorite moment in BlizzCon? What game were you looking forward to? What did you end up looking forward to? For me, I thought I was going to be looking forward to the next WoW expansion, and I don't know what I think of it. So we'll see when we get there. What I'm surprised that I came out excited about was Heroes of the Storm, especially since I'm not a MOBA fan. But that looked really fun and really easy to get into, and that's been my major holdup with getting into MOBAs, is they look complicated. So that's why I haven't picked up things like Dota 2, or I didn't pick up the original Dota, or even League of Legends. And on top of that, from what I've heard, if you're a newbie in League of Legends, it's not a good thing. You will easily get yelled at a couple of times, and that's disappointing. I mean, that didn't really happen to me in WoW. It kind of did when I started. That was my first MMO. Yes, I'm not one of those people that got to start in EverQuest or anything like that. Nope. WoW was my first. It's pretty much my only. I've picked up Tor, I've picked up a couple others, but they haven't kept me enough, unfortunately. All right, so we're actually at the end of the waterfall cave. This is where we need to be if the stupid Cockatrices and Pyrolisks would leave us alone. Leave me alone. All right, so we get the Spellbinder, another ribbon, more Gil, the Defender, and 5,000 gil. So the Spellbinder, I believe, is a staff. We're going to optimize a little bit here. So the Defender is a really good sword to go into the dungeon with the Wind Crystal in it, and then you'll get a better one. We're going to give the other ribbon to Vivi because he really can't take a hit. And the Spellbinder is a staff, but I don't think it's an upgrade for Vivi. No, it is a little bit. And before we leave, we're going to talk to this little robot that's walking around. Take this cube. Defeat Tiamat. Flying Fortress. Alright, so now we have the Warp Cube. This is another item that we need in order to get to the Wind Crystal, and he kind of spoiled it. Yeah. And now he can't talk to us anymore. So he has actually revealed the name of the fourth fiend, and actually my favorite fiend here, Tiamat. And you'll find out why when we get there. I love Tiamat. He's an interesting fiend in these games. And his remake version in Final Fantasy IX was worth it. Okay, so we hit exit. We're done with the Waterfall Cave. Now we gotta go and do one more errand before we can take up the Wind Crystal run. And of course we get encounters on the way. Come on! Okay. We're done! Yay! Not quite, but we're close to the airship. I don't think we'll come back to Onlak. Oh, honestly. Can't remember, but... And there are the other Caves of the Dragons, if people were interested. Citadel of Ordeals. We actually need to make our way back to Melmond. If people remember, there was a person we met that was important, and now you're gonna know why. But first, we're gonna hit the cobweb-infested inn. Really? No! I was already worried about it here when I was leveling. It's alright. We went through the night unopposed, no problems. No demons, no nothing. Okay, now we're gonna go talk to the professor over here. Let me see that stone slab! Why, if it isn't the Rosetta Stone! My dear know-nothings, this stone is the key to unlocking the mystery of the Lufenian language! Yes, of course! Eureka! I've got it! It's an arcane language, but I suppose I can teach it to you. I hope you can appreciate the knowledge. And we're going through teaching. There, now you can speak the Lufenian tongue. But you just said it was a dead language. Okay. Time for a little bit of backstory from Drak. Yes. Lufenians do exist. We're actually going to go to the town of Lufenia from here. The way that the game is supposed to work is you go to Lufenia and realize you can't talk to them because they don't understand you. So, the way you fix that is you have to go and get the Rosetta Stone from the Sunken Shrine, which teaches you the language. Now we can go to Lufenia and get an integral item for that. And that's actually Lufenia, but we will have to walk there. It's one of the downsides. Is apparently Square thought that the airship was apparently too overpowered, and we had to walk everywhere. Even though we have the airship. Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. But that's the thing, is that if I went to Lufenia beforehand, nobody would be able to talk to me, I wouldn't be able to get anything done. I figured in the sense of a Let's Play, it's easier to explain that and not have to come here and then realize, oh crap, nobody can talk to me, and then I have to go all the way back and all, yeah. Just doesn't work. But if people aren't also noticing, we're getting some level 7 and 8 spells for Yuna and for Vivi. And Lufenia is also very helpful in this regard because the best spells are here in Lufenia. So we're going to be very happy to get that. Specifically, the black magic spell that we're going to get in Lufenia is Flare. Kind of the best spell that Vivi can get. The other is for Yuna, and it is, I think it's Life 2. Life 2, I always love getting in these games. Why? Because Life 1, while great, it's a great spell, it's supposed to resurrect you, but not give you that much health. Life 2, however, resurrects you full health. It won't give you your charges back or anything like that, but that way you don't have to worry about, okay, I rezzed Vivi only to have him get hit and killed again. Which is frustrating in RPGs. So you can bet your boots that I will be getting Life 2. It's very helpful. And these guys don't want to let me run, so in turn, they get my wrath. And there's the defender on Bart's. And for one enemy, this is kind of anticlimactic, but this is actually the ultimate attack magic for white magic. Holy! I actually like this spell animation better than anything else in this game. That is so cool, the circle on the ground with the runes. Oh. I look for excuses to use Holy, and can usually never find them. Because Yuna will be busy later on healing and shielding and all that. Such a crying shame. I love Holy. Holy is always a cool spell in every game. It's just awesome. It's one of those things in Final Fantasy that I always look forward to, because Holy is never obtained right off the bat. There's never a Holy 1, Holy 2. You get Holy near the end of the game, and it's always worth it. At least to my knowledge. I'm not remembering a time when Holy isn't worth it. And even though you don't get it in 7, it's totally worth it there, too. Alright, so here's Lufenia. So everybody kind of looks like Greek. This is, you know, supposed to be a reference, I guess. Lost City of Atlantis, maybe. Before we go and get the key item, we're going to go track down the magic shop, because I want these spells. And there it is. It's really hard to get to. So first of all, Ultimate White Magic, Life 2. We have enough money, we're going to go get it. And then we're going to go over to the Black Mage. We have enough money for it too. Flare is acquired. Alright, so now that we're done with this, we're going to come back into Lufenia and grab the key item we need, which the Lufenians have. Now take this bell. Use it to enter the Tower of Mirage. Okay. We have acquired the bell. Now you guys kind of know where we're going next. The Wind Dungeon is actually 2 dungeons. It starts in the Tower of Mirage, and then we go into a whole new dungeon altogether once we get there. So now that we have the means to open the Tower of Mirage, we can go further into the game and actually start working towards liberating the Wind Crystal. Or healing it. Heal Liberate. Heal Liberate. There we go. I like that. Heal Liberate! But in the meantime, we have to make our way all the way back up to the airship. Walking. You know, this is not a time to bring up walking, because then I can go into my really crappy Christopher Walken, because it's really crappy. Alright, I'll stop. Ow. Stop it. Stupid hill Gyguses. Alright, we're gonna use the canoe. And we're right there at the airship. Why can't we get there? The stupid monsters won't leave us alone. They're not fair. There we go. Now we can run. Now, strangely enough, as soon as we get to the airship, this is actually where the Tower of Mirage is. It's in the middle of that desert. So we don't have to fly too far. we can just make our way to the Tower of Mirage and make our way up to the Wind Crystal. There it is. And we're going to just do a quick little bit of preparation before going in. And we're actually going to wait till next part to start up the Tower of Mirage, just because it's a long process. So in the meantime, next week, we start up the Tower of Mirage and make our way to the Wind Crystal. Once again, I am Drak, and this has been a Let's Play of Final Fantasy for the PlayStation 1. See you next week.